Hi, this is Jeannie, and this is Dreams to Reality podcast. But I'm hosting this series of talks. It's called Spirit Matters. And this is our second episode. And we decided from the previous episode that um, we're going to do a different topic this time, and it is the purpose of meditation. To those who don't know me, I'm like a published author on Amazon. I publish Dreams to Reality. It is a short booklet about manifestation, goal setting, and setting your dreams from, from starting from your head and creating it into this reality through action, aligned action, and stuff. And then my co-host here is Jason. And so, can you introduce yourself right now to the audience?
Yeah, my name is Jason. I just recently graduated from naturopathic and acupuncture school. So now I'm practicing in New Jersey and Connecticut. I'm also a pranic healer, and I love to do meditation myself every day. So this is a perfect topic for all of us to find out, the purpose of meditation, what it's really for.
Oh yeah. So yeah, because so spirit matters is we're going to be discussing any topic related to spiritual matters. So the topic could be anything, but for tonight it's the purpose of meditation. So Jason, I think you should start because I think I started the last time. I don't know. Anyway, can you tell me your background on how you discovered meditation and what has been the benefits you've had from meditating?
Yeah, so I think just connecting to our past topic about life purpose. I think what attracted me to meditation was, really the ability to use a part of us that is not used a lot, which is basically sitting in silence and using our conscious awareness to be present. And I used meditation to really, just understand myself, understand my feelings, my emotions, my thoughts, and try to organize it really, because at that time I was, again, still in college, high school, college, still trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And there's so many things running in my head between family and friends, and what I should do and not do. And I found that meditation really gave me the space, the time, the energy to find out for myself what that means to me. And it was a great experience. It felt very natural to me. I was, again, just naturally pulled towards it, and I was able to naturally just sit there in silence and just to be aware of my body, my thoughts, my emotions for really an extended period of time without much fatigue or distress or distractions. And yeah, that's basically how I got started. And I think that in answering the bigger topic of today's theme is the purpose of meditation. I think it's there's many levels of truth, and I think the most fundamental is just creating awareness, right? To have awareness, to use this awareness, this type of focused awareness for a specific intention. It's different from sleeping, because I would not recommend meditating with your back lying down, because you will fall asleep. But to be able to maintain that focus and concentration, and to sit in silence, or not to sit in silence, you can play some music in the background, follow a guided meditation. Just the ability to hold that awareness. It's like we said in our previous topic. It's like training a muscle, and you build that awareness, and when you have that awareness, you can really use it for other things in life, like just appreciating how a beautiful flower is, when you've seen it before and it just looks normal, or appreciating music, or just being present overall. So yeah, that's sort of my take on it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So there's different purposes for meditation. I think you're using it more to ground yourself in the present moment. So for me, it was more for mental health.
Mm.
So the reason why I got into meditation was so 15 years ago, I was depressed and I had a lot of anxiety. I had insomnia. And it was really like a lot of just thoughts and negativity in my head. And then I just was just looking for relief, and luckily I found it, or rather it found me. And then I it's basically my purpose is when I started meditating, part of the purpose for me was for my mental health, because of the mental chatter that we have. And I used to have a lot of mental chatter before. And I meditate this mantra. Basically, I just chant this phrase over and over and over and over again. Sometimes I do it for minutes, sometimes hours. Most of the time, it's hours. And so this creates like it stops the mental chatter. And because for me, the mental chatter was what was causing the anxiety, the worry, the depression, and all the negative thoughts and stuff. And so started chanting, when I started chanting this mantra, it just changed my life. The mental chatter disappeared, and the mental chatter just it just changed everything. I have so much clarity now in my life.
Yeah, that's amazing. And yeah, mantra meditations are again one of my favorites too, because especially for beginners, if you're just starting out meditating, and if you find it difficult to sit in silence, when you repeat something and it's just the one thing that you have to do, it's easier to focus that way. And yeah, that's quite a story, Jen, because again, our mental health is, I feel like, it should be part of primary care across the United States, and it should be treated equally as important as physical health. And as you were saying, the mental chatter part is, it's so ubiquitous, across everyone. But most people are not aware of it, right? Most people just think, oh, it's just my thoughts. But I like to take the analogy of meditation, awareness, and mindfulness. Sometimes we have a thought come in our head, and what happens is we don't even identify it that it's a thought. We just run with it. So I think, I'm not sure if I told you this analogy. What I picture in my head is, when a thought comes in, it's like a horse running through a field, a grassy field, and our program, our habit, our pattern is just to get on that horse, and that horse is going to take us for a ride. And it's either going to go to space, it's going to go underground, it's going in the water, whatever that thought might be. It's just going to take us there, and it's going to take us there, and we're going to feel it. We're going to experience it, emotions, thoughts, physically as well. And it's very rare that we just stop, take a look, and realize what are we doing and how we got here, and to realize you're riding on a horse that's been taking you on this ride. So the reason I said all of this is just the mental clarity part, just to be aware of where you're at right now and how you got here, and to realize, does this thought, does it serve me or not? If it doesn't, then it might be useful and productive to let it go, and to move on, and not try to hop on that horse and it'll take you on a ride. And then identify thoughts that do serve you, right? And then actually be aware of how you feel and what it takes you, and how you can have more of those productive serving thoughts instead. So yeah, that's really important.
Yeah, so definitely in that aspect, meditation makes you have um, mental clarity and also just peace. That peace and that groundedness, um, and that leads to happiness actually, because I think we live in this world where there's so much expectations of us,
Yeah.
so much judgment that we have on ourselves and on others, and we take on
Hmm.
other people's judgments of us.
Hmm.
um and when we have that mental chatter, that lack of clarity, and our thoughts just taking us everywhere, that can create a lot of imbalance. um and I think in that respect, meditation helps with just clearing that, so that you can focus on your daily life better, and you mentioned like the horse, and you're like, when worry is one of those mental horses that we get on. Like, we worry about money, we worry about our work, we worry about our family. So when we ride on that mental horse, so to speak, it takes us everywhere. And then that can be physically exhausting as well. And I noticed when I was having my anxiety before, I couldn't even sleep because my mind was just, I was just riding those thoughts and allowing those thoughts to take me everywhere. And there was like a lack of happiness and peacefulness, because you are becoming a slave to your mind. And they always have that Buddhist saying, become a master of your mind rather than your mind becoming the master over you. And that is so very significant when it comes to meditation, because people usually that don't meditate, their minds are untrained, and then they just ride those thoughts, and it takes them to wherever it takes them, and it even takes them to self-harm. I've met people that harm themselves because they have such low self-esteem, and then they have so much judgment on their body, and they just literally like cut themselves. And I'm like, it's such what you call that, it can be, so as I said, mental health is really important, because if you are not mentally healthy, you can do a lot of harm to yourself and to others. So in that respect, meditation stops whatever negative thoughts that you have and whatever negative impulses that you have. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, beautifully stated, Jen. Yeah, I 100%, resonate with everything that you said. It really is a powerful tool for healing, and purification, especially, for mental health and in that manner. And I just wanted to also connect it back to, again, related to the mind body connection, is also the physical health, and the physical benefits of meditation. There's so many studies that have been, just especially with cancer patients or chronic
Mhm.
illness patients, many kinds of meditation and, different forms of it can actually lower, pain thresholds, outcomes of results in terms of quality of life, you know, um, uh, losing weight, dealing with stress, just fertility, and so many different other conditions that you wouldn't think that, meditation would be, an effective complementary tool, besides, drugs or, botanicals, herbs, supplements, etc. But it really goes to show, that our mind is intrinsically and very closely connected to our body. And again, if we can, not like how well you stated it, not let our mind be the master of our, ourselves, but strive to master our mind, we can really start to really create the results that we want. And through that, it's actually much easier because we're using the power of our awareness and the power of our mind already. So yeah, as a healthcare practitioner, that we both are, I think that whenever possible, if a patient is receptive to doing meditation, I highly recommend it. It just works wonders for so many different conditions.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it does. And going back to that mind body connection. So, Western medicine, we always, and I noticed that, especially here in America, it's very westernized medicine. Um, they don't really think of the individual as a whole, you know? So there's like specialists like, oh, go to a psychiatrist. Oh, go to your blood sugar is high, go to a endocrinologist. Oh, you're doing having that, but we don't really think about like that connection to the mind, so, and the body, so when you are stressed out, it actually does have an effect on your blood sugar eventually and your health. You eat, you do stress eating, and then your blood sugar shoots up and you have like bad habits, eating habits. So there's always a connection with the mind and the body, especially stress as well. Stress uh, not only affects us mentally, but actually has a physiological effect as well. Um, it affects your immunity. The more stressed you are, it reduces your immunity, and it just creates a lot of hormonal imbalance and stuff. So we especially in Western medicine, we have this tendency that we look at parts instead of the whole, and we forget that there's always a connection there somehow. Everything is connected. So if we can work on our mental health aspect, maybe that will, I mean, most likely that will trigger or trickle to maybe, let's say you're stressed out, that would trickle over to, once you have your stress balanced out, maybe you would have like a healthier outlook in life, and like do a diet change, exercise, and then that could lead to your like body mass or your fat levels and your like blood sugar improving. So and at the same time too, if you have physical illnesses, it can also create like mental anguish as well, mental suffering. So there's always the mind and the body, they're interconnected, and maybe helping one aspect might have a huge difference on the other aspect as well. So so definitely in that way, meditation can definitely help with stress because it reduces, just in my case as well, it reduces a lot of overthinking, a lot of anxiety, a lot of the mental chatter, and that can have an effect on me physically as well because I sleep better. And then when you sleep better, you can eat better, you can think better. So definitely one thing that I think the failure of Western medicine in a way is not looking for that connection between the mind and the body, because they're more connected than we think. They're actually just the same thing, but different aspects of the same thing.
Yeah, that's wonderfully stated. It's like a trickle effect, one thing that touches another will touch another and touch another. So it really has that cascading pattern where if we can really set that right tone, it'll affect in a positive way our mental health, our physical health. And yeah, I totally agree. I feel like it should be a staple in the healthcare landscape that we're in now. And especially in the field of integrative medicine, I know they're making strides for that. But yeah, there's definitely much more improvement that we can make in there in terms of making it more of the standard. What I wanted to ask you next, Jen, is in terms of meditation for spirituality. I think a lot of people are interested in that. And what do you think about that in terms of meditating for a spirit or your soul, or something bigger beyond you than this body, this lifetime? And because it's popular now and people are getting into meditation, and that's one of the questions that I'm sure a lot of people have.
Oh yeah. So in my case, as I said, I meditated just for mainly for mental health. But then one of the purposes that I realized was when you get rid of that mental chatter, you actually have more access to your innate intuition and your innate awareness that's always been there, but because it's been clouded by the mental chatter, the delusions, the incorrect thinking, and just all that mental noise. But everybody, we have a connection to the divine, whether you believe it or not. Some people are prayerful, they talk to God, they pray to God. So that's another form of, it's a sort of, prayer is a sort of like a meditative practice as well, because you are just focusing on, you know, that connection to something bigger than yourself. So that is what meditation actually does for me, which is one of the effects that I didn't think would happen. Was the more I meditated, the more my awareness of how life works started to grow, and how awareness of myself and my patterns. So because when you get rid of all of that judgment, that mental noise, the um the thoughts that you have, the anxiety, the worries, once that all falls out, that disappears, or that's the volume goes all the way down, you can actually sense more. You're more aware of other things. It's like, I think the analogy is when it's noisy inside your house and stuff, you don't really notice anything else but the noise. But then when there's no more noise, you like, oh my God, like I need to clean my house. Like it's a mess. But because you're just focusing on that loud noise, you aren't focusing on other. So it's the same with meditation. It tones down everything. And then you just find that with that calmness, with that peace, that there's other things that you're more aware of. And then you see like, oh my God, like I didn't see that before. uh I'm like literally doing this pattern. I've been like walking around in circles, and then you never really notice that until you get rid of that mental chatter. And that when you are more at peace and grounded, so you start noticing things that you never noticed before. And that for me is like the spiritual aspect of meditation, that for me was a discovery, because I mainly used meditation for mental health, but I discovered so much more.
Yeah, that's I think a lot of people can relate to that experience. When we try something for the first time, we use it for a certain purpose, but then as we start practicing and applying it more, there's more benefits that come out of it. And yeah, that's always a beautiful way of using meditation, because it's just not one thing that can fit into one box. It affects so many different areas and has so many different benefits. And I just wanted to comment about the spiritual aspect, from my experience as well. And I think that people, as you said, in terms of the connection to source, creator, God, the being, the oneness of all that connects us. That comes to into play in terms of not just religion, because religion, there's a certain set of you know um, principles and rules. But with spirituality, I find that there's a lot of freedom in terms of interpreting that. And for us, on the spiritual path, I think that one of the goals that we either have in our hearts or have heard from others or just from reading books is our connection to God, to source, creator, something that is totally beyond us, beyond this world, beyond this galaxy, this universe, this omnipresent, omnipotent, powerful being that is in all of us, that knows all of us, that knows who we've been and who we will be. And it's a very, of course, very big picture perspective. But I think that what interested me about meditation is that it seems like for people, to experience these, sort of sensations or aspects of God, you can tap through meditation, and you don't have to use, a psychedelic or drugs to get there. And it goes back to remind us how powerful we are and how powerful our minds are if we can just, relax, be still and use our awareness to focus on a certain intention. And we're both Arhatic yoga practitioners, which is the spiritual branch of pranic healing. And we talk a little bit about that, and when we do in the meditations, that is one of the purposes, slight purpose, of course the connection to our higher soul is a bigger one too. But I think that meditation offers one of the few ways of just getting there, being connected to everyone, being connected to our soul, being connected to God.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely. Sorry
Yeah.
about that. Yeah. So here's, yeah. Sorry, bacon is part of the talk right now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's so eager to talk. He wants to contribute so much.
Yeah, he's actually like, look at that. He's just he's just staring at me.
Yeah.
He wants to be part of the conversation.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely, I agree with what you said. Yeah, so much of what you call that meditation is just one of the tools that we can do to be connected to source or to that oneness. Um, because let's just so people that are new to the spiritual path, so we believe like the spiritual people believe that everybody is connected. We're all the same energy, like we're just differentiated energy, but we are, part of the divine. um Everything in this universe is built made of the same building blocks, like the molecules, we all um have the same building blocks. If you look at us microscopically, we're made of energy. So we're more connected than we think. It's just that we're like a different form of energy. It's like differentiated energy. But at the end of the day, if you look at our building blocks, we're all the same.
Right. That goes back to the concept of oneness. The most basic elements, forms of this universe, these molecules, and within the molecules are these atoms, and within the atoms are these photons, neutrons, electrons. Yeah, and they're in all of us, and it's fundamental to life, and it's fundamental all the way up to the highest, biggest thing we can think of as this universe. So yeah, it really shows that we're all connected. We're all made out of the same things.
That's
um
right. Yeah.
And I think that it reminds me of the one study that they showed how they shot two photons, in an experiment that were like 14 miles away from each other. And when they did something to change one photon, the other photon 14 miles away instantly changed. And that sort of broke the laws of physics because it was faster than the speed of light. It happened instantaneously. And I think that's the term they call quantum entanglement,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it goes to show that everything is connected. We're all connected. We're made out of the same elements, and because of that, we are affecting each other as well. And I think that is a nice segue into the aspect of meditation is group meditation or group consciousness or group intentions. And I'm sure, Jen, you can comment on that. When people come together as a group and we meditate together or set an intention together, usually that has an exponential effect on the outcome that we want. It just speeds it up and it makes it so much more powerful. I'm not sure if you have any experiences like that or
Oh, yeah. I actually read a book. I forgot the name of the. I've been reading a lot of stuff, but basically the author mentioned. I think it's Lynn Taggart. I think I
Mhm.
forgot the title of her book. Because I read a lot anyway.
Yeah.
Um, she I think she mentioned in the book. I think that was that book where she mentioned that a group of people came together and meditated on reducing the crime rate in a particular town or city, and then they did try to look at the police reports after like a couple weeks of that group meditating and focusing their attention. So they did notice a decline in the criminal activity for that moment. So for that period of time where the people set their intention and stuff on reducing the crime. So yeah, so that that just showed that meditation can have that effect on the environment as well. So it
Yeah.
yeah, because as you said, like the quantum entanglement and stuff, you really do have an effect energetically on others. And it
Yeah.
goes, yeah, but on a practical level, if you think about it, let's say when someone is angry, right, and you're very angry and you direct that anger to that person, you will notice that that person becomes angry too. But
Yeah.
then when you say like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and then that person also like, "Yeah, I'm sorry too. I reacted to you." So see, um, you have an effect on the environment more than you think. So that is just using anger as an emotion. But how about setting your intention as well? We have people that the prayer groups. It doesn't matter what religion you belong to, but there's always like prayer warriors or like people that pray for someone, and then we do notice that the best outcome does happen. And even personally as well, you wish, like, not wish, but you pray like, "Oh, I pray that I will um you know pass my exam or something," and that really does happen. So
I definitely use that for my board exams.
yeah.
So
See,
yeah.
yeah, so as you said, the building blocks, our building blocks is energy, and we are all connected, and whatever our intention is, it really has an effect, a trickle effect, or maybe even a major effect on everything around us. So yeah.
Yeah, right. That's true. And I was looking up the book that you were talking about by Lynn McTaggart. I think is the title The Power of Eight
I think so. Yeah, I think that's it. And then she
or
has another one too, the
yeah,
field.
Intention Experiment
Yeah.
Bond. Okay, yeah. I'm just curious looking that up.
Yeah, because I read a lot of stuff, and I read about books from other books and it's just sometimes it just like I just try to read the essence of it, but then it just all like you know. It's all a mess, not a mess, but it's just a lot of information, but I
Yeah,
just
it's a
try to,
process. Yeah.
yeah, but I don't really memorize like, oh, this is where I got that from, but it's more like
Right.
I apply it, like whatever knowledge that I gain from something, and then
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Awesome.
definitely.
Yeah. And it's I think always self-improvement, self-empowerment through reading is it's always something I recommend. It's part of in terms of the ideal ritual or habits for a person. It would be eating, sleeping, meditating, and reading. I feel like that they're all equally as important. And going back to meditation, I know that there's different forms of meditation, and you said that you do a mantra meditation. Are there any other meditations that have you tried, and that is interesting that you wanted to comment on? Or I know that of course we do specific meditations in Pranic healing and Arhatic yoga, which are more guided meditations, more service meditations, and meditations that activate our energy centers. But I wanted to ask you, Jen, if you had anyone in mind that you wanted to talk about.
So yeah, I do use the twin hearts meditation, and I have used other forms of meditation, the guided meditation. But I'm more like a self-starter, so I just use my mantra most of the time. Um, and it really does work for me. So people that are listening to this, just find that one meditation. It could be transcend. Yeah, I tried transcendental meditation before, and I tried um meta. I tried a lot of stuff. So
Yeah, yeah. There's so many meditations nowadays.
yeah, I literally tried a bunch of stuff before, and it was just this mantra that I'm doing, the a Nichiren Buddhist. It's just a mantra that makes sense to me because it's very simple and it does the job, and I'm just sticking to it because like it just does the job. And but I have tried other meditations before, mostly guided meditations, energy meditations,
Mhm.
and there's a whole bunch of them, and
Yeah.
even like the sleeping meditations. But
Oh yes, the sleeping. Those are quite popular. I know I've used my fair share of them. Yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
Okay. Um, yeah, so I feel like there's what's amazing about meditation is like I feel like it's such like an open book. There's so many ways to use it. And you don't even have to be sitting still. And there's like walking meditation. There's you know uh, mindfulness meditation, which is basically if you're brushing your teeth, just be aware of the toothbrush in your mouth, or if you're cooking, just be aware of cooking the food. And yeah, it's really just about using our awareness and our consciousness and the energy from that to to create something, to find more meaning in something, to be find more clarity in a certain topic. It's really so modular and so adaptable that it fits anyone's needs. And again you can make your own meditation today that'll fit your specific needs and wants. But of
yeah,
course, there's always the things that have been tried and tested, of course, like the mantra meditations that you've mentioned about. And they're very powerful, of course. And yeah, meditation, it's awesome. There's just so many different ways we can use it in so many different forms.
yeah. And speaking of mantras, there's dozens of mantras too, especially Tibetan Buddhism. There's like specific mantras for specific things.
Uh-huh.
So there's mantras for healing, there's mantras for courage, or whatever you want. There's I tried Tibetan Buddhism before, and it was just a lot for me. So I'm very simple minded, and so I just realized that the mantra that I use in midterm Buddhism, that's it. That's all I need. And that's all that it works for me because I tried the guided meditation, and when they say relax, I fall asleep right away. So
Mm,
yeah, when
right.
they say relax, I'm like 1, 2, 3 down, and then I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
losing. So mine is more an active meditation of using my own voice on
Hmm.
my own time, and I meditate for whatever amount of time that I want, and I
Hmm.
use my own voice, just repeating the mantra. And so it's a
Ah,
more active meditation because some people require like relaxed meditation, you know?
yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, but I find that fall makes me fall asleep. So
Right. Right. Yeah. Part of the stipulation is you have to be aware, you have to be conscious, of yourself doing it. It'd be interesting if we could take that concept and do it, meditate while lucid dreaming. It's like, am I really meditating? But I'm not really conscious. But I'm conscious of meditating in my dream. I'm just thinking of some crazy scenarios like that. Falling asleep but still meditating. Um,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um, Okay. Well, I think we've covered a lot, on the basis of meditation and its purposes and, all the different forms and how it's used. Is there any other last thoughts, ideas that you wanted to cover about meditation?
I think that's it. And yeah, I think the dog Bacon has really enjoyed this conversation, if you can see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he Sky is just sleeping on my lap. So but yeah, he enjoys it because he gets a free neck rub.
Yeah, I was noticing. I mean, whenever we're doing these talks, your dogs get extra treatment because I'm not sure if they always get these special treatments of rubs and pats, but yeah, they must be really enjoying it.
Yeah, especially Bacon. But I just pet him because he gets antsy
Yeah,
when
yeah,
I talk to people. Like
yeah,
he wants to be the center of attention, so it calms
yeah,
him down. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Well,
Mhm.
looks like Bacon needs some meditation for that too, then.
Yeah, he actually meditates with me every morning.
Oh, good.
Sky, Sky and Bacon. Yeah.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
know the drift. Like I will just meditate and then they sit on my lap, sometimes both at the same time. So yeah. And so yeah, so they're
Okay.
Buddhist dogs too, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome, awesome. Well, they have a great teacher and owner in front of them, so they're well taken care of.
Yeah, all they do is sleep though during that meditation.
Well, that's not a bad life either. No worries. Just eat, sleep, and poo when you need to. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a very interesting conversation that we have, and yeah, we'll definitely meet up for the next session, Spirit Matters, and then who knows how many of these we can do, but definitely, if anyone is watching, maybe you can send us a suggestion what topic you want us to discuss. Homeofgenie@gmail.com. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, yeah. Thank you again, Jen, for this opportunity. I had a lot of fun talking to you, and again, just diving deep on all the different aspects of meditation. And yeah, I'm really excited and looking forward to the next one.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And have a nice evening, everybody, or morning, or whatever. Thank you. Bye.